Okay, good day, guys. Good day to you all. Welcome back to the Formula Sports channel. Thanks for being here. A gentle reminder, as always, to please like the video and subscribe to the channel, as it is indeed a free way to support the channel. And as always, we do appreciate the support. So, as many of you have probably heard, those who would have saw that notification from Reggae Boyz commentary, Simon Preston. He was kind of we were being teased with the news a little bit in terms of from yesterday. He was saying that there was some big news that is going to be dropping today, and he dropped it today. He didn't speak on it yesterday, but he dropped it today, guys. Paul Hall is the new assistant coach for the Reggae Boyz, right? For starters, we have to give a shout out to the Jamaica Football Federation. We blast them all the time, right? Because most of the times they deserve it, right? But especially for this is a big deal, and then on top of that, earlier they would have announced the sponsorship, all the sponsors that they have gotten on board, right? So big shout out to the Jamaica Football Federation for getting it right in terms of the sponsorship, and now we have gotten a new assistant coach, and this has been rumored for quite some time, right? This has been rumored for quite some time that this was being worked on. After a while, it looked like it had kind of fell through. I don't know if I'm right in that assessment. It looked like, based on what was coming from the Federation, it looked like, I don't know, probably I was reading too much into it, but it didn't look like it was going to happen, so to speak, but it has happened. Paul Hall, right? Former Reggae Boy, former World Cup player for Jamaica, Paul Hall, right, is now the new assistant coach for the Reggae Boyz. And the very first thing I would want to know, right, because the details have not been released just yet, right? But will Paul Hall be sticking around past the World Cup qualifiers? I mean, obviously, if we get to the World Cup, then I expect him to be around for the World Cup as well. But will he only be sticking around just for the World Cup related activities for this particular cycle, right? The qualifiers, and if we do get to the World Cup, right, will he be a part of the program even after the World Cup qualifiers? That's important, right? I mean, if we don't qualify for the World Cup, God forbid, will he be around after the World Cup qualifiers? If we do qualify for the World Cup, will he be around for after the World Cup? Right? That's those are important questions that we need answers to, or that we would like answers to. Is it a succession plan? That's another thing. If is Theodore Whitmore, I don't want to make it sound negative, right? Let's say, for instance, I don't know, Theodore Tupper Whitmore has plans on leaving, right? And we don't know about those plans as fans, right? But he would have informed the JFF that, after this particular World Cup cycle, he will be stepping aside, right? Is this a succession plan? Will Paul Hall be our head coach in the future? Who knows? We would like answers to those particular questions, right? Development, very key, very key. And by development, I mean development of the youth, right? He is a U23 coach at Queen's Park Rangers, Paul Hall, right? What does this say about our development program going forward, right? Our development program right now is not the best. It needs to be improved, and it needs to be improved dramatically or drastically, right? Will Paul Hall play a major role in getting some sort of a development program, some sort of a development system 4 young players off the ground. We need money to develop players, right? Will Paul Hall attract sponsorship to develop our youth program, right? Will just his mere presence or will just his mere arrival on the scene attract sponsorship to help us to get a youth program off the ground? Boy, oh boy, I would really appreciate if we could get a youth program off the ground and Paul Hall could spearhead that, right? That would be amazing. We need to not only be, look, I have no issues running to England to get the best that's available, but we also need to develop our talents on the island as well. Too many top young talents are going to waste. It's just as simple as that, man. Too many young talents are going to waste. So will Paul Hall place an emphasis on youth development? Will his arrival automatically place a spotlight on youth development? Does he have plans? Does he have plans to try and get some youth development program off the ground in Jamaica? Right? Proper youth development system off the ground in Jamaica. We will have to wait and see, right? Or to wait and hear from the big man himself. Also, will his arrival aid in better recruitment of UK born players? That's another, possibility as well. Some have said that our recruitment of UK born players has been lackadaisical to say the least, right? Will it improve under Paul Hall? Paul Hall is a well-traveled man, in his club career. And, those guys have links and connections all over the ground, right? I mean, we have already heard stories of him being, very important, or him playing a very important or a major role in helping to recruit players, UK born players that are currently in the national setup, right? Will he, I mean, obviously he will have more of an involved role, but will we see vast improvement? Will we see vast improvement of UK born players, or vast improvement in the recruitment of these UK born players, right? I hope that that is the case, and honestly, common sense tells me that that is the case. We will see a vast improvement in the efficiency, right, of recruiting UK born players. And my thing as well is just how involved will he be, right? Will he, the dynamic between himself and Tapper going forward, the relationship between him and Tapper going forward will be very important to see. It will be very important to see the dynamic between the two going forward. I mean, I'm sure they they obviously know each other previously, right? They obviously know each other previously. I don't know the relationship between the two currently, but that's something very interesting we have to look out for as well, right? The relationship between the two, not only in terms of their personal relationship, but their footballing relationship, right? The role that Paul Hall will assume as assistant coach, his duties, you guys get where I'm going at, right? You guys get where I'm going at. Will Tapper feel undermined by Paul Hall and by Paul Hall's presence, right? Will Tapper feel insecure, right? Because look, we know Paul Hall is coming from a very professional setup, right? And yes, Theodore Tapper Whitmore would have played football at a very high level. He understands to an extent, professionalism at the highest level. But Paul Hall has done it both as a player and as a coach. Paul Hall has been at the professional level, both as a player and as a coach. Yes, Theodore Tupper Whitmore is obviously a professional coach at a very high level. But the sad reality of the matter is that professionalism isn't the main order of the day in the Jamaica Football Federation, right? There are gonna be things that Paul Hall comes out here and I mean, look, the fact of the matter is Paul Hall is definitely going to approach things differently from a professional standpoint, right? To that of anyone else that is currently in the Jamaica Football Federation. He has experience coaching and administration at a much higher level professionally than Tapa and than individuals in the JFF. So it will be interesting to see just how the dynamic between Tapa and Paul Hall, the respect, right, from even the UK born players, in terms of who gets more. And I'm not trying to create division. These are just serious issues at play here. The dynamics at play are real. It's interesting to see how it looks going forward. Right. So how involved will Paul Hall be? That's important to watch and see. And then there's also Wait is the current assistant coach. What is his role going forward? How will it look? Right? Many people are critical of Jerome Waite after, what took place with the Olympic team, the Japan Olympic team. Many people are critical of Jerome Waite. What will his role look like going forward in the senior men's national team setup? Right? But this can only be a positive for Jamaica. This can only be a positive for Jamaica. I'm happy to hear this. I'm happy that Paul Hall is on board. Big shout out to the JFF for getting this over the line. Right? I don't know if it's the new sponsorship money they're taking to pay Paul Hall. Right? But congrats to them. Look, I wish Paul Hall the best. He is not gonna be coming in a very comfortable environment. Look, this isn't Queen's Park Rangers. I'll tell you that much, right? I mean, I'm not so sure as to the ownership structure of QPR right now, but I know not too long ago the Asian guy. I think he was from Asia. The Asian billionaire guy was a major stakeholder in the club, and that particular individual, I don't remember his name off the top of my head right now, but he was a billionaire, a very, very wealthy billionaire, right, doing business at a very high level, and would have been running the QPR in an extremely professional manner. A guy doing business at that level and that wealthy, right, multi-billionaire. It's fair to assume he would have been running QPR at a very high level of professionalism, right? So Paul Hall is coming from an environment that professionalism is just out of this world. It's just at the highest level. And he's coming into an environment where the truth of the matter is, professionalism is, it's not that it could be better. To put it, to put it kindly, it could be better, right? And how will he cope, right? It's going to be a culture shock for him, I think. How will he cope? It's not so easy leaving such a professional environment to come into the Jamaica Football Federation setup. How will he cope? Very important to see going forward. How will he cope? I mean, he has experience with it already as a player, so I'm sure he understands to some extent rather, what he is getting himself into. So, let's see how he copes. Let's see how he does. Big move from the Jamaica Football Federation, and we are wishing our former World Cup hero all the best in his national team endeavors. Right, we are wishing him all the best. Hopefully, his impact can be felt far. Hopefully, his technical expertise can be felt wide. And I am just hoping and praying to God that Paul Hall can get some sort of a youth development program off the ground in Jamaica for the youths. Okay, guys, that's my 2 cents. Take care. Stay safe and until next time.